Hello and welcome to the Arsenal Bite Size podcast. I'm your host, Clayton, and we are back with another pod. The wins keep flying in. Is that 6 on the bounce? I think it is now. 6 wins in a row. I think our last and only defeat this season was against Liverpool, 31st of August. So yeah, there was a draw in there somewhere, Man City. But yeah, we are flying, we are purring. And when the Arsenal are in this rhythm, podding just can't come soon enough. So we obviously didn't get a chance to talk post Fulham. I'm not sure it's relevant anymore, to be honest, if we do want to touch on it at all. But I feel like Fulham got quickly eclipsed by the madness that happened on Tuesday, dismantling Atletico Madrid at home. Sounded like it was a battering. And I say sounded like because I was on a flight to Canada. So caught the first 10 minutes of the game. I'm now in Canada, so I've watched the highlights. But for those of you that know me, I don't like to give opinions on games based on highlights. So with me is Uncle Mike, who's going to do me the pleasure of talking us through it from his perspective, and then we'll kind of get on to the Palace preview. Uncle Mike, how you doing? How was Tuesday for you?
Oh, it was good. It was. I think that was a statement performance that the teams across Europe would be looking at, and it really was a shit. We don't want to be going anywhere near them in the latter stages. It was first half was. I mean, let's talk about the pre-match hype. There was so much the narrative of.
Hey Marsh, how you doing?
Of terrorist football. It's going to be a 0-0. It's going to be a 1-0 set piece or whatever, and
everyone was calling it the Haramble Derby or something.
Yeah,
I can't lie, that was making me laugh.
Yeah, but you actually could also see goals in it, So it was. I just think we've grown up in the Champions League now. We look like that team that's been there for years and years and years. That we're going to be there in the latter stages, deep into the competition, and we play like that. So there was no panic. There was, I don't know what people are expecting. I don't think there was the sense of that in the stadium, I believe, but it was, it was a tactical battle with a very, very good coach. So you're not going to rip them open within the first 15 minutes. But they look good, but not with actually any penetration, Yeah. So they were sort of knocking it about. But at no point did I think that in the first half that we looked under pressure.
Well, it's
There's a little bit of a dodgy moment from Raya.
He just bored, didn't he?
Yeah. But that was a little bit, well, shit, what you doing, mate? But I just think the first 45. Solid, probing, had a couple of chances. You had Saka was on fire in the first 45.
Mate, so last season, before his injury, I can't explain it. He just had this air of inevitability about him, and it feels like that is back. It just feels like everything he touches is going to turn into something gold. Yeah. And he's just got this feeling of, I hate the word, but it's an aura. There's an aura about him that I can't explain, and he just feels untouchable. And I'm scared for I don't think we've clicked yet.
No, I honestly, I think it's second gear. I think it's second, third gear. It's and we're to talk about that. It's what is coming back to this. I just think is with the combinations that will happen. I think you've got gears to go through, and it's so exciting. But so Saka was skinning the fullback. He had him on toast. It was
Hanko, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was. You could just see him. He got the ball, and you could see him. I've got this fella, and he was time after time he was doing him, because there was that extra yard of space, and there's the Gyökeres factor with pinning the centre half, so it gives him the space, and it was visible. You could see it. You could just see that Saka's getting that much more space. Timber's pushing up, sort of pushing alongside him, and he's so good. So the first 45 solid, and then we just sort of kept battering. There was a couple of chances. There was the I think there was the offside goal.
Well, yeah, we actually had it in the back of the net. That Zubimendi, I think it was Zubimendi that won the ball high up and then played in Saka. But like, he's so good at proactively intercepting the ball, and like to play him in. Like, I do think I'm being very critical here. I do think Martinelli should have been better to be on side there because you can see laterally the play. But like that was such a nice move, and it's just again, it's like we're slicing teams open. I know the first goal came from a set piece, and I know there was another goal from a set piece in the game, but like we look like we are purring. And like again, it's another game where there's chances. Like Zubimendi does that outrageous, like the ball comes into him back to goal, he flicks it with his foot, then like passes it into Gyökeres' path, and like there's that chance. It's just again, I didn't see the full 90, but some of our football, it's gear 2. And it's like you can see it. We're slowly accelerating. You're like, I can see the left foot is down on the clutch, hand is on the brake, the gear stick. Like we're slowly moving through it. And I just get through. We'll get to the Palace game. Just get through Palace, 3 points. I almost don't care about this. But then I'm looking at like Burnley, Slavia Prague, Sunderland. Could that be the period like last year, or sorry, 2 years ago? The 5-0, 6-0, stadium's empty. It feels like it's heading and trending in that direction. Maybe I'm getting a bit carried away.
No, I can see it because what you look at the players that are going to come back into the fold. It's staggering the quality that we could have. I mean, all we just want to hope we don't want a 1 in 1 out situation, where
for people watching live and listening live. Man. Uncle Mike isn't aware about the Gabriel situation right now. So Uncle Mike's just been on the back of a night shift. Obviously been busy, not had time to check the socials, any messages, no pressers. So he's just said he doesn't want no 1 in 1 out situation. I think I may have given something away, but we will get there. Should I just address that issue now?
Just do it, man. Rip the plaster off, man.
So I can relate it to the Atletico game. So we're 4-0 up. And he makes a triple substitution on Tuesday, right? Gabriel, Eze, Zubimendi comes off. Mosquera, Waneri, Norgard comes on. Did you think anything of anything? So Colin, who is part of the FPL Twitter community, he sometimes watches our pod. He said he saw Gabriel go over to the bench and kind of ask and stuff. So the update is that he's a doubt for the weekend. I'm trying to find the word for word what Arteta actually said. Oh, of course, I can't bloody find the actual thing now. He basically said he came off because he had something. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I'm paraphrasing. But the one thing he did say word for word was he hasn't trained yet after the game. We will assess him and see if he's available. Sure. And as you can imagine, Twitter's gone into a frenzy. The group chats are popping off. FPL people like myself, gone a bench boost. I'm trying to find the exact quote because I'm well aware I've put you on the spot there, and it's a little bit difficult to comment on that. But yeah, the one thing he definitively said was he hasn't trained post Atletico. He hasn't been able to train yet. And then the kind of usual, we will see. There's another session, blah blah blah. How do you react to that?
That's a kick in the bollocks, mate, on a Friday afternoon that I didn't really want. But
sorry, mate.
No, but it's. Do you know what? I just think if we're in any position of doubt, don't play him.
I got the official quote. Big Gabby had to leave the pitch with an issue, and he hasn't been able to train yet. So let's see how he evolves in the next 24 hours to see whether he's available or not for the weekend. And for guys, girls listening in the chat, let us know what do you think? Do you think Gabriel will play? Do you think he should play? Like you said, we've got options now.
If there's the word doubt and Gabby in the same sentence, then don't play him, man, because you don't need to. We're not in March. We're not in April. You're not as much as you can't play Palace. Take Palace lightly. I just don't. We're in a position now where. And I think we are learning is that as soon as if you see when like Rice had that twinge in his back, immediately off. Any sign of a player with a bit of a niggle or whatever, they're straight off rather than playing them into the ground. So it's a massive, massive blow. But I could live with 1 week out. and see how, because probably we got Brighton next week. We have,
Well,
haven't we?
no,
So you're probably
we got
not going to.
Brighton midweek. So we've obviously got Palace Sunday. We got Brighton midweek in the Carabao Cup, and then we got Burnley next Saturday.
Yeah, I've just seen from Marsh, he's got a good point there. It is Mateta.
That's it, mate. So that's
yeah.
all it is for me. The worry's Mateta.
Yeah.
And it's more okay. What are our alternatives? I agree. We've got the strength in depth and everything, and I think I'm not going to talk in like a hierarchy order, just as names come to my head. Like Mosquera, we've seen come in at left centre back with Saliba, and we've seen him play there already. Hincapié, we haven't actually seen play for us yet, but he's someone that could deputise there. We could put Calafiori there. Miles coming at left back, who sounds like he impressed midweek. Saw that dribble for the Martinelli assist. Fuck me. But I don't know. Like Hincapié is someone who is an unknown to me. Like I've not watched him much, even when he was at Leverkusen. So I'm not great with unknowns. Calafiori is one where I almost think next to a Saliba, who does have a little bit of a bozo moment in him, in my opinion, and can be a little bit lackadaisical, you do want someone that is just a bit no nonsense. And I almost worry about pairing a Calafiori with a Saliba, because I do think there is a possibility that one of them lapses in concentration. Mosquera, I don't really get that feeling. Hincapié, I don't really know. So I'm with... Marsh hasn't actually given his like definitive opinion, but for me, the same thing. The worry is Mateta. And I think if he's able to train today, tomorrow, I still think Big Gabby will play. It's the set piece thing. I do think this Palace game psychologically will be a big one of like, doesn't matter about the performance, just get that 3 points on the board again. I don't know the order of when. I think Man City play at the same time as us actually on Sunday. I don't know when Liverpool play, but I do think it will be a case of if Gabby is like, okay, just start him, try get the job done, bring him off. Cotton Wool against Brighton, not even in the matchday squad. Yeah, I don't know. That's where my head's at. But like, it's hard to comment without knowing exactly what the issue was. The fact that you weren't aware of anything on Tuesday makes me feel okay. Maybe they're just completely being cautious.
Yeah, it's a really. You made some very good points, and I do agree that the point from Marsh is. Now you said that to me, that's concerning me a little bit more. But on the positive note, this is the thing. Historically, we've had this before, haven't we? A sort of a situation like this, a bit of an injury rumor, or not rumor, but sort of news, but very vague. And then suddenly the next thing we'll get is they missed the game.
And they're out for 2 months and they're under the knife.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's true. I was only talking about best case scenario there, where it's not awful.
Yeah, so you was talking me into, yes, I really hope that it is that case of trade today or tomorrow and then stayed in the squad on Sunday. But if there's any risk at all, then I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play him. But yeah, and then it's who do you play? Is like I totally agree with you on the Calafiori and the Saliba pairing. I wouldn't, especially against this setup. I wouldn't. That would concern me. But then you just have to trust the unit that we've got and say, right, they're good enough.
It's my mate Charlie in the chat.
Yeah, agree. Trust. Do we just trust him? You know, he's the unit. He'll have a battle with Mateta, and Saliba will also obviously get involved. So, yeah, that is a real. That could be just a little sign of oh shit, yeah, a couple of weeks out, or hopefully it's not something more.
That's the thing in terms of like the hierarchy of what I'd prefer. It would be Mosquera for me personally. Again, just because I don't know what Hincapié is like, but I think the only thing with Mosquera is like, and I think I'm someone that almost over indexes on this a little bit too much. It's like the angles of passing out from the back with a right footer on the left side. And I know Van Dijk does it, but like we're probably the best build-up team in the world with how we play through the thirds. And I do think a large part of that is the angles, a left-footed player is able to open up for us on that side. So I think if Gabriel is a concern, I would almost rather Mosquera just comes in on the left. It's that kind of no nonsense next to a Saliba who will probably take control of the build up in the first phase, have your Calafiori that can go roam, do his thing. But yeah, to be honest, you're kind of talking me into like, if there's any risk, you just don't want to. Yeah, if there's any risk, you obviously don't want to make it worse. But then I'm a bit like, if he was a genuine concern, why would he bring it up unprovoked if no one thought anything of it? Like, I don't know if there's something legal there with like an oppressor, you have to disclose something, but like, if he was a real doubt, I would have just said nothing. Like,
yeah, that's what made me think is where's it cut? But then it certainly is. You're not going to do that for mind games against Crystal Palace. It's not.
Our manager's sick in the head, mate. I think he would.
Yeah, true.
In a good way.
So yeah, it is a concern. But I if it wasn't, but then is he explaining away? Like if he say Gabriel is out on Sunday and he doesn't mention it, or hadn't mentioned it today that there was a doubt,
he'd get crucified.
Yeah, I don't know. That's sort of the counter argument. I don't know. It's disappointing. And let's just hope that it's not too. I'd agree. I would go for Mosquera, and then you've got the other. Yeah, you got the other factors of your fullbacks, but we could do that with the preview. So if you go back quickly to the Madrid game,
I was going to say, anything more from you on that?
It was lovely to see Martinelli have a really good game. What a finish! What a goal that was, and we've seen that before, haven't we? It's very similar to the PSG move that Donnarumma had that saved and tipped down the post. It was very similar. Miles going through midfield. That was an unbelievable run. 4 players running past them. I mean, they were. The overview for that is you've got to look that we absolutely bossed and slapped them around in a way that they've never been slapped around. Did you see the Simeone?
Where he looked like a tear in his eyes.
Oh mate, it just looked shell shocked.
Yeah,
I don't think we were bigger, stronger than them. We fought them, we duelled them, technically better than them, steamrolled them, and then the best thing that ever happened, as soon as we got that goal, they just opened up.
Yeah.
And he shot right.
Well, it sounds like the second half, like I said, I was on a flight, right?
Yeah.
So I caught the first 10 minutes. It sounds like the second half was just an annihilation.
It was a lesson. It was a schooling. They, in those 14 minutes, it was just like dominance. It was just right. And the lovely thing to see was it wasn't just right. We got the first goal. Let's just sit, and you could see the players could smell blood.
Yeah,
and that's what I like to see is we need a bit more of that, and they just put the foot down.
So my mate Charlie asked in the chat, separate to the Mosquera thing, he said he's been happy with Eze so far, but need to see something from him on Sunday. What do you guys think of him so far?
I agree, Charlie. I think that's how I feel. I'm glad he's at our football club, and he has had a couple of disappointing games where I thought I would have liked to have seen it, like you say, Charlie, like I would have liked to see it a bit more. Whether there's factors in there of again using him, he's facing low blocks at a club that has probably not faced many low blocks in the past. He's got to adjust to us, we've got to adjust to him. He's a connector. Yeah, I do want to see more. I do have a little bit of a worry. Will there be a Declan Rice versus West Ham hangover?
Do you think
in the air on Sunday? I hope not. But would you be surprised if he put a stinker in against Palace?
Yeah,
I hope not.
I would be surprised. Just like, I don't know. Even the Rice West Ham thing, I'm not someone that really believes that. I think it was coincidental. I know that will sound silly, but I don't think it's like he's in his head against his old team or anything. Like maybe if anything, it's just they know the opposition knows his game inside out, so they're the best equipped to be able to nullify them the best they can. But I don't know.
I mean, Glasner's a decent manager, isn't he? He's going to have a plan he's a very, very good manager. So he's going to have apparently he's better than Arteta, according to
Who said that?
Certain mugs that I'm not even going to mention.
Oh
But
yeah, I'd not heard that one. I
you
do,
not heard this?
one thing
Is
that I have found surprising, and I don't know if it's just my curated feed at the minute. I do feel like we're getting a lot of praise from the outside Arsenal world. It feels like we're getting our flowers
only on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Pre-Wednesday, it was you're shit. You're gonna struggle
yeah.
against
It
Madrid.
was post Atletico.
It was set piece FC. It was that, and then I think I love those rival cam reaction videos. And there's one of it's about 12 minutes long, and it's hate watches. So you've got they're the big names. So you've got like KG, who's the United fan.
I don't know any of these.
Yeah, so there are big names in the hate watching game. So they're all like there's a Chelsea, United, Liverpool, all watching the game, and they sort of go through the stages of like it's 0-0, and they're all sort of like, oh yeah, 1-0, oh fucking hell, set piece FC, oh my god, this lot are horrible, this lot are disgusting. That's it, disgust, 1-0 set piece. Martinelli, as soon as the Martinelli goal comes up, okay.
Oh, that was a nice move, wasn't it?
That would then Gyökeres gets his 2, and they were like, oh fucking hell! You could see.
I was really happy for him midweek.
Yeah, I was so chuffed. And in the end, they actually stopped the hate watch when as soon as they went to 4-0, they said, "Oh, we're not doing this no more." So they switched off their hate watches.
Just on Gyökeres, obviously his 2 goals were a bit scrappy, and I wish I wish they happened the other way around, because I do feel like he was very quick to go for the celebration and it was a tackle. I was like, that was a tin pot goal, but
yeah, man.
But a goal's a goal, and like you see Saliba go Musk to go do the celebration,
and then you see Martinelli in the background with the pictures as well. He's like doing that, and it just looked.
Gabriel.
I was so pleased for him. I was so pleased for him because
what I was going to ask was, it sounded like his all-round game was pretty good.
Yes, yeah, it was. First half, not as much. Again, I think it's almost like all the games that I'm seeing is so much better in the second half, which for some when he's got a label,
Havertz back.
Well, yeah, the truth.
Havertz start the game, get Gyökeres.
Yeah. I mean, he's in our group chat. My mate Dom's given him the nickname of the cart horse, so which I think is a bit harsh by Dom, but it's.
I can see it. He's very clunky looking.
He is, and I mean, I think that might actually stick with him, but he so he was a little bit of a cart horse in the first half. But you could see the one thing they will never ever do is stop running, stop grafting, and second half. And I think he gets there's the Arteta team talk at half time is like, right, you do this, you do what you're good at, you do get the ball here, and he always looks so much better in the second half. He was then done a lovely run down the right hand side into the channels, occupying the centre half. You really giving them a game.
There was a lot of graphics doing the rounds where you could really see the impact of him occupying the centre backs, and our wingers literally just 1v1, and it's like, when have we had that?
And so again, I think he's the battering ram, and we've said it before. I don't want to do the old Kai Havertz where look at he's so good off the ball, he's so good, but they are judge him on the G's and A's, and he got 2 goals on Tuesday night. So scrappy as hell, but they were not goals that we would have scored last year. They would not. No one. We ever got a striker who's standing in that position. And if you really go back and watch the comps or whatever, he's always in the right area. Whether he's been half a yard off or a little couple of. The other stat I saw from him, he had the fastest sprint, joint fastest sprint on Tuesday night with Martinelli.
Is that so? Wow.
So you're on the eye. He's looking slow, right?
I don't think he looks slow. I just think he looks awkward.
He looks clunky.
Yeah.
Right. But he's getting up. He's getting that speed.
I think he looks powerful. I just think he just looks a little bit awkward on the ball. That's
seventh game in 23 days.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's
and
mental.
and all of them are 90s.
Yeah.
So you got. I put that caveat on him. I'm judging him. I'm happy with him. I've got absolutely no concerns on him, because we're winning and he's a big part of why we're playing the way that we're. And I just believe when you get. It was also I saw something like out of 8 games he's had 7 different combinations of 8s and 10s. So there's no relationship there. There's no pattern. So no concerns. Good to see him get 2 goals. 5 and 12 sounds better than 3 and 12, doesn't it? So
it does.
Scrappy as hell, but yeah, all good.
Hopefully it'll be 8 and 13 after the weekend. Should we touch on Palace? Should we go to the preview?
Yep.
All right. Well, so team news. Obviously, we mentioned about the Gabriel news. We'll get in and do our predicted lineups in a sec. One question I did want to ask. I saw a couple of people mentioning this on Twitter. I saw one guy. I can't remember who it was, but something related to what you said about the old club thing. Is there a chance Eze doesn't play against Palace or doesn't start? Sorry. And I did see a few people. Again, I can't confess to have seen it myself. I did see a few people impressed by Waneri's cameo against Atletico. Could that be a change, do you think, to the 11? And let me add one more factor to that. We've obviously got Brighton midweek. I think a lot of people are expecting we'll rotate. I don't think we'll rotate as much against Brighton as people think. I think you'll get a Kepa in for Raya, and I honestly think we'll get 2 free changes max. I think Brighton's one. If we take our eye off the ball and we go with 5-6 changes, I know our squad's still strong, but there's still relationships there and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we'll see 2 to 3 changes across Brighton, Burnley, Slavia Prague, Sunderland, rather than 5-6 changes, 7 people come in against Brighton. So sorry, I threw a lot at you there.
Yeah, no, he's not going to. We won't be playing Carlos Vela, will we?
No,
you know what I mean. It's not that sort of lineup.
Nico Yanaris, no.
Yeah, we're not playing those boys. So it's it'll be 2 or 3 changes. It'll be a Mosquera or an Enweri for potentially a Miles or even a Norgard. So Norgard's got to play in Slavia anyway.
Well, that's why I don't think Norgard will come in against Brighton. I think it would just be the Slavia one.
Yeah.
I think he will. Yeah, I mean, we'll get there, obviously. I think it's more, I wanted to throw that factor out there.
Yes.
It helps thinking about
Sunday. It does. It does, because I mean, the flip side of that, imagine saying to Eza,
listen to the music on in the background with Uncle Mike's house. Mikel Marino's tunes come on. Does that mean he's starting on Sunday? For anyone that can't hear it, Kingston Town's just come on the radio.
It's a sign, mate. It's a sign. If you say you can't say to Eza, no, you can't play against Crystal. You're old.
Why not?
You can't do that to him, man. You seriously? You think he would do that?
I think he would do it. I don't.
No, I think it's more likely would happen is if you are not on it from minute 1, you're getting hooked at half time. Or 60 for Ethan. So I if we go through the lineup, Raya, Timber. I mean, Timber, just what a guy. We can't say any more about him, but so he's just got to play, because I think White would probably play against in the Brighton game.
Well, he got 10-15 against stuff.
And that would be your 1 or 2 changes that we're talking about, isn't it? Yeah. So you just slip him in, and then you go Saliba. I'd go Saliba, Mosquera.
So you think it'll be Mosquera, yeah?
Yeah.
That's you nailing the colours to the mask. All right.
Yeah, and then I'd go Calafiori.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go Calafiori, then Zubi, Rice, Eza, Trossard.
Yep.
Gok and Saka.
So
I think the 2 changes will be the 2 right back, centre back, and your left wing. I think that's your change.
I think there will be 2 changes, and it will be the same 2 that changed from Tuesday. I think Gabriel will start. I think it will be Calafiori and Trossard in for Miles and Martinelli. I just feel like Palace, the whole like the back five system, Calafiori, the Joker in the pack, he helps disrupt systems. I know Miles does in a different way. Like Miles kind of drives through. I think Calafiori just gives you a positional nightmare, and he attracts people out. Like when we fucking see him sometimes in like the right half space. I think that's where you kind of drag people out, attract people. I do think Eze will get the nod. I was just throwing something out there to see if you thought any different. But yeah, I think it will be Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Rice, Eze, Saka, Gyökeres, and Trossard. The reason for Trossard, I think that's the pair. I think Trossard and Calafiori are the two, and I think Miles and Martinelli are the two. And again, I think even if that's not factually true, I do think Trossard suits Palace more than Martinelli as well, where like Trossard tends to drift in, combine with Eze. Remember what we saw against Newcastle where he came super narrow, Calafiori went high and wide? I think we'll see a variation of that sometimes on Sunday.
No Hincapié?
Not for this one. I think Brighton. So as much as I said, I mean, do you know what? For what it's worth, right now, if I had to, gun to my head, if I had to give the Brighton lineup right now, I would say it's Kepa, White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Miles, Zubamendi, Marino, Eze or Waneri. And then, Eze, Waneri on the right. Then I was thinking, what about Gyök? Yeah, we'll do that next week. But yeah, I think it was more like... I don't know. Maybe I've just talked myself into how strong our squad was. At first, I was like, I don't see 5-6 changes, and then I was like, that whole back five has 4 changes in and is unbelievably strong. So, yeah, I think it was more like I think Norgard won't play because I think Zubamendi will just get the next 4 games before he can't, or 3 games, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it was more like I see Rice playing potentially in that game. I see Eze potentially playing depending on availability, just like starting strong, trying to go up, win the game, 60, 70 minutes, take them off, and have them rotated against Burnley potentially. So I almost think Brighton's going to be harder than Burnley.
Yeah, and I don't think we should take I don't think we will, but certainly as supporters, I don't think we should be taking this Palace game as an easy game. They last year I think it was
As they scored,
it was almost a good. They've had that winning streak broken, so we didn't want them coming in with all of that confidence. And they had a fairly tough game last night, I believe, that they lost. So
they did. They lost 1-0, and they only made 2 changes. It was like Wharton and Richards that got rotated / rested.
Because that Wharton's a good player, so we got. Excuse me, they're no mugs, so. I'm concerned about the game. I think I'd go 2-1.
2-1, yeah? You think they'll score?
Do you know what? It's weird though, isn't it? You go in like we normally would go in sort of. You'd be going 2-1.
Yeah.
But now we're so good defensively. That going 2-1 is turning us into saying 2-0. I think my last 3 have been a 2-0.
Yeah, well, and you've been right most of the time.
Yeah, so, but I do think that it's just that seed of doubt with Gabby, with the big man Mateta up front. I think that could be a problem, and I think it might even be something like he could potentially win a penalty off of the inexperienced or less experienced centre half on that side with the Bozo moment that we were talking about. Rather than being out muscling, set piece, FC, I think, 2-1.
Yeah, I'm glad you said you think it'll be tough because I think I've seen a lot of people saying, like, oh, they obviously lost last night. It's the Thursday to Sunday thing. I do think the Thursday to Sunday thing is a thing and it does impact you. But when you're playing in a back five, I think sitting back in a structure can sometimes be easier. When you kind of you sit off a little bit and you just watch it go side to side. You're not necessarily focusing on triggers to go press and stuff. And I do think it's a game where I do think we need to get an early goal because I do think it's one, even if we get one around 30, 40 minutes, like around the 60th mark, I think that's where you'll see them tailor off ever so slightly. So it's one of them, just like keep it.
And then it could turn into a 3-0. That's that balance. If depends on how if you get an early goal, then it game on. But yeah, I think if it's still 0-0 at 60 minutes, then I'd 1-0 to Arsenal. Give it to me.
Well, and that's why if it is still 0-0 around that time, you're probably looking at your Gyökeres, maybe Dalman, Martinelli coming on. So lots of ways to change it from the bench. I can't remember what his update was on the likes of like Madueke, Havertz, Odegaard, all of them. But Greg's got a question related to the scorelines. Can he captain Saka in FPL this week? I've seen a lot of the data guys are going like Bruno over Haaland. I'm not quite sure I'm on board with that, but what do you think? I don't think it's gonna. I think the only way it ends up being you captain him is one that you can't really predict right now. But if we get an early goal, then I could see it potentially opening up to a 3 or a 4. But I don't think we will.
I just want to go against the Haaland at the moment. If you're talking captaincy, certainly buy him. I think he's a great buy in FPL.
Who's Saka?
Yeah, because I just think he's just going one way. I think he's looking like he's got the bit between his teeth now. Even if the confidence in his answers in post-match interviews he's a different beast than he was 2 years ago.
Just looks like a man, don't he?
Yeah, and the fact that it's like, no, we are going to find a way. He's putting us on his back, and he will find us a way to take us to the promised land. So yeah, man, I'm so excited.
So all I heard there is Captain Saka.
yeah.
I didn't give my score prediction, did I? I'll go 2-0. I do think we'll keep it clean. I do think I say 2-0 with I do think there'll be periods in the game where we're a little bit ropey and nervous because I think Palace are a very well drilled team. But I do think there is a scenario where we're looking at it potentially going 3 and 4. Like you said a couple of years ago where Martinelli came on, scored 2 on the break. I think that was the first game back after Dubai, weren't it? The set piece.
Yeah.
And, obviously,
when Rice took his first corner.
Yeah, that was it. And forgot to mention, we did thump him at Selhurst last year, 5-1. Jesus was, I think that was, was it a hat trick or something, or he scored after?
Yeah, he was on fire, wasn't he? And that was why. You know what? I'll just say this: don't write that guy off.
No, agree.
To play a part, however big or small, that guy has still got a part to play in our season. Whether he will do something special in a big game, I believe, or just even if you just say right, give him 6 weeks. He will start ahead of Gyökeres and Havertz when both are fit.
At some point,
yeah.
Well, hopefully,
I just think,
hopefully it's when I said hopefully it's just to rest and rotate and stuff.
Yeah, because just something different, isn't it? And he loves the Champions League. You know, he makes other players look better when
he sits them down, don't he?
So I initially did. I thought, oh no, Jesus, he's never going to play for us again.
Yeah.
Either way, you've got to get him some market value to sell him anyway. If you're going to do that, so yeah, it's really good to see him in training. So whether that will be January, playing a part, but yeah, that's the excitement for me is that you've got the Havertz, you've got Noni, you've got Jesus, you've got Ode to come back.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna get better.
Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, I almost don't care about the performance on Sunday. I just want another 3 points on the board. Hopefully, Unai does us a favour because as much as I said I don't rate this City team, the robot is scaring me a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna pull you up on that one. Yeah. We've had discussions about your comments about not rating Man City.
I stand by it. I don't rate Man City.
No,
I rate him. I rate him very highly.
And that's the thing. Is it sustainable of him scoring like the 67% of amount of goals or whatever that he scored? He's pretty much doing what Salah did for Liverpool last year, isn't he?
That's kind of where my fear came from. It's like, oh shit, I think I've seen this script before, but
yeah. And okay, I'll ask you a question. You said to us we're on a 6-game winning streak.
I think so. I think I need to.
Yeah. How many are City?
Oh no, are they on a good one as well?
Answer.
I don't know.
9.
4? Fuck, no. What?
9.
Oh shit.
So that's what I'm saying, mate. You know what City are like. They all put in a 18-game unbeaten run. Oh, and they're not even on the radar at the moment and they put a 9-game unbeaten behind them already.
Yeah, no, I do think I need to take them more seriously.
You
But
know,
I do
so
think a lot of that is a carry job, though. I don't think as a team they're looking amazing
yeah,
or like, and
agreed,
defensively, I still think there's
agreed.
vulnerabilities. But like what he's doing, he's a freak, isn't he?
And that's what, if him on this form is very, very is scary. And I would I've seen, I mean, just touch on it, the ridiculous, you mentioned it earlier, that other fans are waking up to us. They try and banter us with the 1-0, with the set piece. I think it's the dying embers of the banter years, because they are absolutely shitting themselves when, and it's not if, when we win this, whether it's this year or next year, when we win the big stuff, they are done.
Yeah,
So
it's
they,
going to
so
be
they,
a cycle, isn't it? It's not going to be a one and done. I don't think.
no, it's a dynasty. So
Yeah.
So that's why I think they're trying to banter the stuff with the set piece. Then it's funny, Liverpool scored 2 set pieces. It's all good. So the tide is turning on the. But then I'm starting to get you can't chuck it away from this point, and I'm like, what are you fucking
I
talking
don't
about?
care about that. I think that's just people just trying to be controversial and get clicks and stuff. Like I'm not worried about that. I think my biggest thing is just I hope
just keep winning. Keep winning.
With
Keep
what we
winning.
can
No
do in our
noise.
control, do that.
Yeah,
Keep
no
winning,
noise.
no noise. Hopefully, get into a rhythm where after Palace we can try and put a few of the 5, 6, 7s out there,
Yeah.
like we did a couple of years ago. But then it's also like I know this isn't in our control, but I just hope that the Man City team has their vulnerabilities exploited for what they can be, and it's
Yeah.
not just you continue to paper over cracks, which I think that guy can keep doing. So that's my concern. And I think from memory, City have a little bit of a tough run coming up, possibly.
Yeah, they've got a few, and there's the Liverpool City game coming
Well,
up.
so
So
fingers crossed for a draw.
hopefully
in that
that's a 0-0.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
Lovely stuff. We will leave it there. For everyone that was live, thank you for joining us. It was good to be back. We obviously didn't get to touch on Fulham, but 1-0 to the Arsenal on the road. Can never complain. We're on our road to 400 subs. So if you are watching and enjoying it, obviously hit the button. You'll get notified when we go live. Drop the stream a like. That always goes a long way. And for those listening on audio, a 5-star review really helps us with discoverability. We'll leave it there. We'll see if we'll be able to get a pod out either Monday or Tuesday, reviewing the game, preview Brighton, and then we'll get back into our usual rhythm. Uncle Mike, pleasure as always. Up the Arsenal.
Thank you, mate. Nice one.